Okay, wasted no time. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Holy wow. Yeah, so let me just kind of contain myself for a minute because I've never been, I will admit, never been the biggest Pink Floyd fan because the songs I'd heard on the radio were just kind of really weird and out there. I didn't even know Money was by Pink Floyd because it was more of a normal song in my mind. So I didn't think Pink Floyd had done it until high school when we covered it in our rock band. Anyway, so yeah, so never been the biggest fan, but I saw this back in the day and I knew it was a classic, so I picked it up. I was like, I gotta have this, whatever. And it is amazing, especially after looking in the backstory and like what all went into it. So the whole point of this album, Roger Waters came up with the whole idea. First off, they were either about to go on tour or on tour and whatever, and they wanted to make a new album. So Roger Waters was like, hey, you know, let's do a more concise album. This was like their 8th album. And they had just lost their lead singer, Syd Barrett, because he had mental illness. So, anyway, the whole idea that Roger Waters had was, hey, let's just do the theme of, like, all the crap that goes into touring and everything that we have to deal with and the mental illness and all of that. Let's put it all on paper and make it more direct because apparently most of their stuff isn't very direct. Anyway, so every song on here has to deal with different things that they dealt with, and what's amazing about it, now that I know that, when I go back and listen to it, it's perfect. They hit it all perfectly. I mean, Money clearly is about the greed and all the stuff that they have to deal with, which that's obvious. I mean, you didn't really need anyone to tell you that, but on side 1, there's one On the Run, and it was basically written about all the anxiety and stuff that they go through when they have to go on tour and stuff. And it's, when I went back and listened to it, I feel the anxiety. Like, you kind of hear a train going by and you hear the guy running, you know, you don't want to miss it and trying to catch up with it, and oh my gosh. So blown away by Dark Side of the Moon. First off, I don't know if I said that. This is Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. It was released in 1973, but they actually went on tour and performed this whole album more than a year before it was even released. So they went and performed it all live. How amazing would that be? I mean, clearly people, I mean, you probably didn't know it was amazing at the time, but they performed the whole thing on tour live before they even recorded it. So that was really cool. And another thing, I looked up the album artwork. Their first performance was at Rainbow Theatre in London. I don't think that actually had anything to do with it, but that's a good way to remember it. Was, hey, Rainbow Theatre, there's a rainbow right there. So the album artwork was actually done by Storm Thurgerson? I don't know. I read a little article on Rolling Stone asking him, you know, with him just talking about how he came up with the concept of it and everything. Really great article, I suggest it. It's super short, not long. Anyway, he basically said that he wanted to accentuate their light shows, Pink Floyd's light shows, which, yes, that's what they're known for. They're known for their light shows. No, I've never been. I need to go to one, I know. Anyway, so he wanted to accentuate their light shows, and the triangle is basically like your brain, your thoughts, all that. That's what it represents. So that's where the artwork came from. That is now a huge icon. I mean, yeah, when you see this, you know Pink Floyd. And if you don't, you do now. This is Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd. Dark Side of the Moon. It's amazing. And Dark Side of the Moon actually has nothing to do with the moon. It actually has to do with mental illness and the dark side of your mind. So, again, when I first listened to this, I didn't look up anything about the album. And when I had first heard a few songs, you know, I actually thought, like, astrology and all that stuff. And so when On the Run came on, I kind of thought, in my mind, it sounded like outer space. Like someone was going through outer space, you're whatever, because that's what the sounds sound like. Sounds like what it would be like if you were in a rocket going through outer space. Parts of it do, anyway. The train and stuff, all that comes later. So that's what I thought. I'm completely wrong. Still, after reading all of this, seriously just blown away. It's amazing. I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I think I covered it. Oh, and it was recorded when they finally did record it after they got back from tour. It's recorded at Abbey Road in London, the iconic Abbey Road where Beatles recorded theirs. And when they got all of the money back from this, huge success, and it's still one of the top-selling albums of all time. They invested some of it in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which I thought was really cool. Great movie, fantastic. Okay, so my favorite song on here, I have to go with Brain Damage, which naturally just runs into Eclipse. Okay, so all of these songs, by the way, kind of go with each other. There's not really any stoppage, which is great. I don't mind it. That was one of my favorite things about Green Day, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, not American Idiot, I'm sorry. The whole American Idiot album that Green Day did, it all ran together, and there wasn't any really stoppage points in between. They just went right into each other. And that was the first time I'd heard anything like that, really. And then, you know, I remember seeing like an interview or something, and Billy Joe was just like, yeah, we're just trying to bring that back. I was like, bring that back? What the hell? So apparently it was a common thing. This album's one of them. Yeah, so favorites, Brain Damage and Eclipse, because it's a classic. The maniac laugh that goes on during Brain Damage is just so great. It's awesome. It captures brain damage perfectly. If you were to capture it in a song, there it is. This, Us and Them, I put it as my new favorite. Honestly, I just totally forgot about this song, and when I put this record on and it came on, I got super happy because I love this song and I haven't heard it in a long time, and honestly just didn't even think, like, hey, Pink Floyd does that song. So it's another great thing I like about doing these, is because I find songs that I love that I didn't even know, you know, were by a certain band or on a certain album, and it's always a surprise, and I get super excited about it, super music geeky about it. So anyway, Us and Them is my new favorite. And the song I strongly dislike, people are gonna get mad at me for this, I'm sure, because I read the reason behind it. But yeah, Any Color You Want. And the whole reason behind Any Color You Want is just saying that you're forced into a certain stereotype or whatever. I just don't like it because it's very synthy. I mean, they're all synthy, but it's just, it goes to the extreme. To me, it's a little too much, and not really my cup of tea. So if there's any song I could do without on here, it would be that one. And it's all instrumental, by the way. There are a few just instrumental songs on here, in case you're wondering, and that's one of them. So yeah, another thing, I guess I'll go over the songs everyone knows on here. I mean, you're not gonna go wrong buying this. It's a classic for a reason. But in case you're still questioning it, let's see. Time is great. Breathe is fantastic. And Money, we just heard Money. And like I said, Brain Damage and Eclipse, you can't go wrong with that. And Us and Them is playing right now, which is basically every song on here. So there you go. Iconic album. So glad I have it, and I don't want to brag, but there's like no scratches or anything on here, so that was this one. I promise I'll get better at this. I think I say that every time, don't I? I'll do better, and I'll have something good for you guys in a week or two. Okay? Not a month, I promise. Alright, bye. So I can't believe I didn't address the Wizard of Oz issue. Okay, so for those who don't know, it's a rumor that this whole album goes along with the Wizard of Oz, and that they wrote it to be the Wizard of Oz soundtrack. Well, It's not true. They've asked them multiple times, and it's not true. And I have not watched Wizard of Oz with this in the background. I'll add that to my bucket list. So, yes, apparently there's a correlation with it, Wizard of Oz, and this as a soundtrack, if you just put it on mute. But it's not true. They didn't do it on purpose. And there you go. Alright, cool. This time. Bye for real.